Hey guys, I'm here to do a review of the Arkbird 2.0 OSD. That is their latest version. Came out in China a couple months before they released it internationally. But before they released it internationally, they started selling it in China. Then they sent some units to testers in other countries, myself being one, and then they released it internationally. So really the first testers were the buyers in China. Arkbird says they were selling like wildfire over there, and then they sent them to some testers. So just going to do a quick review. I've got it mounted in my right wing drac. There are two types of builders, one being clean builders and the other being rat's nest builders. I am one of the latter, as you can tell here. I'm just a dirty build kind of guy. I don't know. I'm just not I don't get into super clean zip tie. Everything looks great. If you're one of those, awesome. I don't know. Not a big focus for me. So anyway, moving forward, just going to go down a list of some of the features they have listed on their site for the Arkbird OSD 2.0, and then kind of give you what I think. First on the list comes with an airspeed sensor. That's pretty cool. It comes with a pitot tube that you see I have mounted here in the side on the drac. Now, if you can imagine, the wings and everything. So this just sticks out right there. Ideally, you want to have it on the nose or somewhere where there's as little aerodynamic influence. So you don't want to mount it far back and have, if you have a tractor, you don't want the wind from that hitting your airspeed sensor. Obviously, it's going to throw things off. So get it out of the airflow as much as possible. Have it hitting the air first is the ideal scenario. On this plane, the airflow, this sticks out plenty far enough, so it gets an accurate reading. That's a great feature. Version 1 OSD, they've since put an update out to where you can use the airspeed sensor, so that's awesome. Second feature I wanted to touch on, which is more of a joke, is high definition OSD. And this is a sensitive subject for me because I was working with Arkbird. I say working with them, I would send them suggestions, and they would mostly laugh because they're my suggestions. Basically, I had an idea to have a high definition OSD, and without going into too much detail on that, they attempted to do that kind of thing here, and in my opinion and a number of other testers' opinions, it fell flat. The OSD version 1 worked fine. The telemetry was very legible, even when you're flying into a light, like if you're going up and the sky's blue or into the sun, you can still read what's on the display. With this version, it's actually a bit more opaque. There's a little bit of transparency to the wording and numbers and telemetry on the screen. It makes it hard to see when you're flying into light, and it is by no means, in my idea of high def. It's just it fell flat. I don't know what happened there. We as testers told them about this before they released in the States and other countries, and it fell on deaf ears. They just said, well, the people in China like it, so we'll just keep it the way it is. So I guess, if they're selling a lot in China, then great for them. But it's not real great here. And you'll be able to see, I might even put up a picture of the version 1 OSD compared to the version 2 OSD and let you be the judge. Integrated automatic antenna tracker airborne unit. Basically what that means is if you are using the Arkbird antenna tracker with the version 1 OSD, the antenna tracker came with a little 1.5 by 1 inch board that you would have to mount in your plane along with the OSD in order for it to work with the antenna tracker. With the version 2, you don't. It's integrated in the OSD. That's great. Functionally, it's the same. It works the same. It's just less clutter in your plane. It wasn't that huge of a deal to begin with, but it's good to see them integrating and having less components that you have to purchase. So that's a cool feature I like. Another one I'm kind of iffy on is flap control. Basically, this in automated flight lets the flight controller have control of your flaps. I don't have flaps on most of my planes. Just actually one of them I have flaps, and I haven't flown the 2.0 in there with it. So I don't have a lot of input there. One thing that is really annoying with it is, I'm not running flaps, but I still have a little flap diagram on my OSD. That should certainly be an option to turn off on the display. Why do I have a flap meter? It gives a little, showing where a little image showing where your flaps are, what position they're in on the screen. And if you're not running flaps, it's completely useless, and it's just more clutter on the screen. So that was a big complaint of mine. I don't use flaps on most of my planes, so why do I have to look at it? It's just more junk on the screen. I told them about that before they released. No change. Bimotor. I guess they're talking about a twin motor aircraft, and that is a cool feature. Basically, you don't have to run a Y lead in order to have differential thrust. You can run it all through the OSD. So, if you've got a twin engine plane and you want differential thrust, the OSD can do it for you. So that's a cool feature. Great. And then, they've got some other features listed on there that are basically the same as the version 1. PPM, single wire PPM is great. Kind of keeps the clutter down in your plane. If you believe it or not, I'm actually running PPM in here, and it still looks like that. But that's, most of the other features are pretty much the same as the version 1. My overall opinion is it works, it's functional, but there's still quite a bit of things that need refining. One thing that they can't refine, and I have a big problem with, is the GPS unit. They changed the plug for the GPS unit from version 1 to version 2 to a smaller plug, and it sucks. It does not want to stay in there at all. I actually had to get some hot glue and put a couple small dabs on there just to make sure it stayed locked in. It's a joke. It falls out. If you hold the OSD with the GPS dangling down here, and you do this, it'll fall out. It's a joke. I apologize for not having this unit out of the craft to do the review on. Basically, I'd be just sitting here holding it, and you would be looking at it that way. But if you want to see the actual unit and what comes with it, you can go to arkbirdfpv.com. Quick disclaimer, I should have done this in the beginning. I did pay for the 2.0. They didn't send it to me free or anything, so I purchased this, and this is unbiased review. I'm a fairly big fan of Arkbird's for their version 1 OSD. It's a fantastic product. Thing works great. It's cheap. If you want more features, there are flight controllers out there that are more expensive and give you more features. But if you want, basically enough to get you by and will work and is dependable, Arkbird version 1 is great. Version 2, they got quite a bit of work to do. And a lot of it they can fix with updates. The problem is the updating process is such a pain in the ass. Basically, you have to dismount your flight controller out of the plane, take all the wires out of it, take it out of the plane, hook it up to a UART, which you purchase. Oh, I'm sorry, it does come with it in order to do the updates. It's just fairly cumbersome to get all the wiring right. And they switched the layout of their servo leads. On the version 1, the signal wire was on top. On the version 2, now the ground wire is on top, so it's reversed. So if you're not paying attention and you're going to do an update and you plug that thing in wrong, you can let the smoke out real quick. So pay attention to your wiring when you're doing updates on this one. The update process, like I said, huge pain in the ass. You gotta unmount everything, unwire everything, hook it up to the computer, get your serial ID number, send it to Arkbird, wait for them to send it back. They're generally pretty quick about it unless it's the weekend, then you gotta wait till Monday. Then get that back, plug it back in, do the update, and reinstall and rewire everything, which that is a lot of wires to have to unhook and hook up every time you want to do an update. And there's a lot of stuff to update. So they're going to be having updates. They've already had a couple updates for this one since its release. And it's just a pain in the ass, man. Why would you not just put a little micro or mini USB port on the side? Leave everything plugged in, put that in there, into the computer, do the update. I don't even know why you need the serial ID number. Why don't they just let you do the update? I don't know. I think it has to do with piracy. Apparently a lot of that is very common in China with companies stealing from companies, and this is a way for you to have a unique serial ID number for your specific unit. Keeps piracy down? I don't know. Either way, the customer pays for it, and just general pain in the assness. So overall, it works. There's a lot of stuff that can be done to smooth it out and refine it. Namely, the OSD layout, it's cluttered, really cluttered. And you only have two options. There's two presets. There's default and there's fighter. And default is cluttered. Fighter is a joke. There's so much crap on the screen. It's just, it doesn't look good in my opinion. Some people may like it. That's great. Make it an option. This is one of my biggest things I told Arkbird, and I tell them as often as I can. Make options. Let people change the layout. Where do you want your speed? Do you want to see speed? Do you want to see your voltage and amperage? Do you want to see less or more or whatever? You should be able to plug this thing into a software and change the layout. It seems like an easy fix, but they won't do it. A lot of the suggestions myself and other testers had just fell on deaf ears. Again, they said, great, we'll take that into consideration, and nothing. So I don't even know why they ran the units through the beta process and testers and that kind of thing. They didn't do anything that we suggested. So overall, out of 10, I would probably give it a 5 just because it works. It does okay. There are some cool features like the bi-motor. If you do happen to be running Arkbird PPM or Arkbird UHF, you can run PPM and get those extra 3 channels. If you're not running Arkbird UHF, you have 7 channels to work with. If you are, you can have up to 10, which is cool. There are some cool things to this, but it's just not refined, and they, in my opinion, rushed to get it out and didn't make any changes when they went through the beta process. So, 5 out of 10. My honest opinion, if you're shopping and want to go Arkbird, I'd still stick with the version 1. It's much cheaper, and it does pretty much all the same stuff. Just my opinion, and it looks better. The display is a lot easier to read. So that's my opinion. I'm going to put up some flight video after this, let you kind of see what's going on. I'll go through the flight modes, through assist mode, which is what they call balance mode now. The version 1, it was called balance, and for some reason they changed it to assist mode. Gyro mode, return to home, and they still have that hover feature, which is funny to me. I don't know how many people are putting flight controllers in their 3D planes that want to hover vertically, but that is an automated option if you want to do it. So, like I said, 5 out of 10. Stick with the version 1, at least for now, until maybe they start making some changes, though I doubt they will. So, thanks for watching. Enjoy the flight video.